How does our Nacho sponsor, Implant Direct, help dentists decrease the stress of full arch cases? We're going to talk about that and more with Raul Carreo. Thanks so much for joining me here, Raul. You have a very interesting job. I want you to tell the Dental Nachos audience, you're not a dentist yourself, but you were born into dentistry and you hang out with dentists. Tell us what you do for Implant Direct.
Yeah, Dr. Goodman, thanks for having us on. I'm Raul Carreo. I lead research and development for Implant Direct, dental implant manufacturer, part of the broader Invista family.
Cool.
I've been working with Implant Direct for a little over a year, and before that with our Dexis digital business unit in product management and in sales and marketing for about 5 years.
Awesome. So you hang out with a lot of dentists, and your dad is a dentist, which is awesome. You know, dentists have a lot of stress. I always say at Dental Nachos, we have 3 missions: increase success for dentists, decrease stress, and most of all, reduce the number of times they feel like crying inside a day. Because as a dentist, when people say, I just want to let you know, I hate the dentist, I want to say, I just want to let you know, you could have kept that in your head, but now you put it out there for me to absorb. So you guys have a full arch solution. I love this type of dentistry. We do full arch cases in our practice. Tell us about what you guys have come up with at Implant Direct to help with full arch difficulties.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things that we do at Implant Direct is we spend a ton of time chairside with dentists, learning from them, being coached by them. And like you said, Paul, hearing the pain that they go through, both clinically, operationally, economically, all the different areas that Implant Direct can make a difference. And so as we were thinking about a fixed full arch solution, we were really looking for something that ties together products to create a solution. So instead of taking a product-based view, we tried to take a workflow and solution-based view.
Cool.
So what does that mean? For us, that means bringing together a versatile implant, a universal multi-unit abutment, standard surgical tooling that our dentists are very comfortable using, partners for clinical planning and case support, and then best-in-class local sales and clinical support. So to us, those are the ingredients to help bring order to a very complicated and oftentimes stressful procedure.
We love that.
Yeah, we call it direct arch.
Direct arch. Where have you seen? I mean, I've done full arch cases as far as back as 2005. I'm a medium age dentist, where we would do everything out of acrylic, and I would pick up everything chair side, and it was very labor intensive, still amazingly transformative. And now we have all of these workflows, as you've talked about, where we can make full arch implant cases, which are, in my opinion, the most transformative on a patient's life. I mean, I say we should be so lucky that we live in a time where this was invented. You know, people said, oh, my grandmother didn't mind her denture 50 years ago. I said, you never looked at Meemaw at the end of the table. She was eating mush when you guys were eating pot roast. I grew up in Pennsylvania Dutch was a big part of my upbringing. A lot of pot roast, a lot of mayonnaise-based food, not always the healthiest. But where do you see kind of, whether it's with your clinicians or the patient stories? I love the transformative power of full arch cases. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I think you're spot on, starting with the patient. So when we start there, you know, to your point, patients have had to put up with a suboptimal solution for many years, often decades, because either their dentist recommended it to them at the time, it was the best available option. Maybe they didn't have the appropriate bone or health in order to get a fixed full arch solution. But we're seeing increasingly that patients are, their lifestyle, their function, their own emotional health is totally transformed when they have that full arch rehabilitation.
Yeah,
of recreating their smile, their function, their ability to eat the foods that they remember from 20 years ago. So that's something where, you know, we've done, as we launched our product, we have done over 40 clinical trials.
Awesome.
Working, testing, really making sure the product is dialed in. But I think the most impactful thing for me was we touched over 40 people's humans' lives
Yeah.
in addition to our clinician, who, they had an incredible experience using the product in our clinical trials. We transformed 40 humans' lives.
That's awesome.
So that was transformative for me. Again, not as a dentist, but just seeing that emotional impact for them.
I love that. I mean, I really appreciate Implant Direct being a sponsor of what we do. You can never have too many good companies doing great things for patients, teams, and dentists. I mean, we're elevating this game for everyone, because when I started in implant dentistry back in 2002, you could only name about 3 implant companies total. And now that number has grown in what I consider to be, as a clinician, a magnificent way that we can, give our dentists more solutions. Implant Direct has been a big part of that. What else would you like to share with our Dental Nachos audience? I always like stories about success or anything that you're doing, but we're here on Nacho TV. A million people are watching in, Raul. No, just joking, not yet, but one day that will be. What else would you like to share with our audience about Implant Direct?
Yeah, first of all, I would say reach out to your local Implant Direct rep, or in fact, reach out to me directly. Oh. One of the things that I have really tried to drive with my research and development team, and that starts with me, is making myself available to our clinicians, both our current customers, but also potential customers. We are a US-based implant manufacturer, and one of the things that's sort of a pillar of our DNA at Implant Direct is practical innovation.
Love that.
So what does that mean? It means not the esoteric stuff that you see happening in universities that then takes 10, 15, 20 years to actually come into the clinician's hands. We are focused on things that just work intuitively. And a lot of that comes from us engaging with clinicians chairside and watching them, learning from them, and then helping them take the next step.
I love it. You can send this to the marketing department. You see real world solutions for dentists to help them cry less inside from Implant Direct, that you could use. And Ro, I think it's so kind of, people can text direct to 215-543-6454. My team will connect them to Implant Direct, but how could someone reach out to you if they wanted to learn more? Yeah, absolutely. Probably the best place to do it would be via email. We have an inbox that's set up. I believe it's css@implantdirect.com. Cool. And if you just send a note there saying, I'd love to connect about direct arch, or I'd love to connect with R&D, or just learn more about Implant Direct, we would love to engage. That's probably the fastest way. I love it. And one of the things I can share, or use these for education, is that it can be really frustrating as a dentist when you hear, what does my insurance cover? Why doesn't my insurance cover this thing? And when you do full arch implant cases, and it is a world where insurance does not impact your treatment planning as much. So it's just really nice for both the dentist, the team, and the patients to kind of operate in a world where we're not as impacted on the challenges of dental insurance. Dental insurance can still be something that people use it in my practice all the time, even though we're out of network, but it's just something I've noticed through my 20 plus years, is that when you're doing these amazing transformative cases, you don't hear that as much. And it's just a nice break in the day. You may go to your next patient and say, why doesn't my insurance cover all of my fillings? But it's just a really, it's a positive thing for everyone involved. So I really appreciate you sharing, Will. You got to come out to Philadelphia one day for food, fun, and friends. We have camaraderie and cheesesteaks here. Have you been to Philadelphia before? I have. I got to send you a really great Israeli restaurant that I know downtown. But awesome. If anything, maybe you and I can go together. I like that. Zahav is one of the most popular ones in Philly. That's the one. Yeah. So we could go. That's also one thing that's really cool about when you come here for C conferences. Calories do not count. We have a special force field. You can have as many calories as you want. And we've proven this over and over again. So I really appreciate you sharing with us. If anybody wants to reach out to us, they can do so at dentalnachos.com. And we would love to see you in Philadelphia. And thanks so much for sharing about Implant Direct. Of course. Thanks for the time.